All right, Mr. Deadman of the Deadman Stone Podcast. I live show every Monday, Wednesday, Friday nights at 9:30. Today we'll be talking about something writing related for a change. Talk about passive voice. Now, if you follow this channel because of the reaction vids, don't worry, they're still coming. They're coming on a daily basis. You know it. You drop the name of the band, the track, or whatever you want me to react to, and I'll do it. Lately, I've been doing Japanese music. I still have some BTS to react to. I'll do that. Now, let's get on with this. All right, passive voice. What is passive voice? Well, I think it works easier to understand what active voice is first. Active voice is when a subject does an action to an object. That's it. So if I were to put, somebody stole my car, that is action. If I were to put, Mr. Deadman kicked the cat, that is action. Active. Let's say action. It's active voice, okay? If I were to put the cat was kicked by Mr. Deadman, that's passive voice. If I were to put that my car was stolen, that's passive voice. Passive voice is when a sentence emphasizes the action. The action and the object rather than the subject, okay? Now, another way to look at it is a sentence that leaves you wondering who or what the subject is. That's a passive sentence. Like, for example, my car was stolen. Some people would say, oh, that sounds active. That's not active. That's passive. Because who stole the car? We don't know who stole the car. The car can't steal itself by who? Who? If I were to put that, let's say Dallas, Texas is known for its strip clubs. I mean, it ought to be. That's some pretty dirty clubs there. That's passive. That's passive. I mean, Dallas, Texas, while it is the subject of the sentence, is also acting as the object. That is passive. And there's some examples that we're going to cover that make you realize, wait, the people who go around saying don't use passive voice also use passive voice. It's not black and white. There are times to use passive voice. There's times when it's going to happen. You'll hear it in the news, in the media. You'll read it in stories. If you read something that says like a bunch of kids were killed in a school shooting, wrong, horrible, that's passive voice. That's passive voice. They said an active shooter killed a bunch of kids in the school shooting. That's active. That's active voice. Why do I have to use that? Well, I'm sorry. It's the first thing that popped in my head. Wow. Let's talk about like passive agent. And earlier I gave an example of the cat was kicked by Mr. Deadman. That is using a passive agent. A passive agent is that noun that clings on to a sentence ever so desperately. Okay? If you were to put down, like, the house was invaded by zombies, that is a passive agent. And those things are really frowned upon, I should say. Most editors and publishers do not tolerate that. They don't like that. It reads weird. It's so just get rid of that. And you want to try to keep it active in that way. Avoid using the passive agent. So another example would be, let's get some examples of this. Here's passive. While Mr. Deadman was speeding down Highway 35, he was pulled over and given a ticket by a police officer. That is passive. That is passive. If you put that, while Mr. Deadman was speeding down Highway 35, a police officer pulled him over and gave him a speeding ticket. That is active. It's redundant. I probably don't need to put speeding in there twice. I would eliminate the either the first speeding or the second. Something else. Another example is, let's say someone says Highway 35. I must be obsessed with Highway 35. What is going on here? Highway 35 was closed down due to a serious accident. That's passive. I mean, people do talk like that at times. There's a time when you're gonna hear it and it's fine. It serves the purpose. But you could say, "Are we closed Highway 35 down? Are the police have barricaded? Are police barricaded Highway 35 due to an accident?" I mean, it's still kind of clunky, but coming up with these examples on the fly. Anyway, let's dig into another thing. So, people have a tendency to think that passive is just was. But passive voice is it's not exclusive to past tense. You can have passive voice in present tense, past tense, and future tense. Okay? The forming of a passive voice is using the auxiliary verb to be plus a V3 or I believe a past participle. So let's look at this. I'm going to go over this real fast. Keep it quick. Keep it simple. All right. Bring it down by tense. For present tense, a passive voice sentence is going to use an am or is or are plus a made. Like, anime is made from Japan. That is passive. Anime is made from Japan. Okay. You could say Japan makes anime. I mean, that you could dig into that sentence a little bit more, clear it up, but you could say that. That'd be better if you want to make it active. And you could say that. So yeah, I mean that's a pretty good example. Let's go with that. Say present progressive would be like am, is, are, plus being, plus sent. Like the divorce papers is being sent right now. Okay. The contract is being sent right now. There's times when people talk like that when they're trying to send you an email. The email is being sent right now. Guess what? That might sound active, but it's passive. You say, "I'm sending the email right now." I am sending the email. There you go. There you go. Okay, let's look at past simple. Was, were, plus invited. Let's say Mr. Deadman was invited to the party. Okay, Mr. Deadman was invited to the party. Okay, let's make it entertaining. Mr. Deadman was invited to the sausage fest. Let's just dig right into it, right? That was, does that sound active to you? Does it? Mr. Deadman was invited to the sausage fest. That's not. That's actually passive voice. That is passive voice. I mean, same thing. I mean, past progressive is going to be using was, we're being, plus like washed or something like that. I mean, future is going to be we be plus signed. Let's say the contract will be signed tomorrow. It goes on. I mean, there's plenty of examples, and you can find them on the internet. Not gonna lie, I'm looking at that chart right now. Let me show you what I'm looking at right now. Here we go. So yeah, I mean this. I was actually one of the few, maybe one of the many, really, who thought that just was really a passive voice, but it's not. It's more than that. So more than likely, you've been using passive voice and didn't even know. Let's see, like this example here, the car will. Some of these things are clunky, and like future perfect passive voice sounds so messy. The car will have been loaded by the time he gets home. That sounds horrible. The car will have been loaded by the time he gets home. But the car would have been, I guess, I know. I mean, then you're just combining it. It's still the same. Even if you put the car would have been loaded, no. How do you, the car will have been loaded by the time he gets home. That irritates me. Makes me cringe. That's basically it. I mean, that is, I think, a pretty good breakdown on passive voice. So you know what it is, and you know that you do use it at times. So those that say to not use it, I mean, it might sound like they're being all black and white about it, but there's times when you're going to use it. There's times where it's going to be in your writing. And sure, try to eliminate it as much as possible. Try to make it active as much as possible. You know, always make it where the subject is acting upon the object as much as possible. But sometimes you can't. You know, sometimes it just doesn't make sense. Well, let me know what you think about this. And for reference, like I said, you could Google this if you don't believe me, if you don't believe this stuff. Of course, what do you think I looked into before I did this video? Just Google this information. It's out there. It's out there, man. It's out there. But sometimes hearing it in a video form, a quick bite, is what you need. So there you go. Anyway, let me know what you think about this. Honestly, these grammar vids, it's kind of like, well, you can just Google it and it's a lot easier. But sometimes it takes hearing it, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, let me know what you think about this. Press the like button, subscribe, and y'all take it easy.